Greetings, everyone. I am Dr. Wolf, and I just saw the beginning of the end. Holy cow, that was such a fun premiere. I can't remember I've had that much fun in years with all the different season premieres. They threw so much stuff at us, but it still all felt coherent. It didn't feel like there was a particular scene that wasn't necessary to move the plot forward. And my goodness, they really raised the stakes. How many different villains are introduced in this? Alright, first off, Celestia and Luna are retiring. They are passing the mantle off to Twilight. And naturally, Twilight has a lot of freak-out moments, as to be expected, because hey, her friends are kind of making fun of her for how predictable she is in her freakouts now. Pinkie Pie calls it twilighting. That's a great verb, by the way. Oh, goodness. And yeah, even Starlight gets a bit of her own freakout because she's going to be running the school from now on. And every step of the way, Spike especially, Spike knows exactly how to handle Twilight every step. At least until she reaches, 4,000 some odd items that she has to check off her list. But yeah, it's really fun to see that not only the Royal Sisters are passing on the mantle to Twilight, but that the MLP staff are fulfilling Lauren Faust's original vision for the show. How everything was going to come to an end. It was always supposed to be that Celestia and Luna would move on and Twilight would take on their role. And I'm so glad. I am so glad that the staff finally are showing us this story, that they are going to end the show proper in this final season. So kudos to that. And they are raising the stakes by a wide margin. I mean, goodness, I know of Grogar because I've heard about him over the years from various fans. He was apparently a fairly big deal in G1 as one of the darkest villains in that show. I have not seen that episode, but I'm really tempted to go back and find where this guy originally came from because, yeah, it looks like he's very steeped in the lore. I mean, how do they put it? Apparently, Grogar was the first emperor of Equestria, father of all monsters, and apparently someone by the name of Gusty the Great was the one who had temporarily defeated him. If by temporary you mean he's been waiting around for millennia to make his move again, and he's been watching everything unfold in the meantime. And yeah, he summons Chrysalis, T-Rex, Cozy Glow, and somehow even King Sombra. I mean, he looked like he was destroyed at the end of the season 3 premiere, but apparently he was banished into the ether. I think that's what Rarity said. And now he's going to create his own Legion of Doom. I mean, when you look at this scene, tell me you're not thinking, meanwhile, at the Legion of Doom. Who else remembers that ancient show from way back in the day? I remember when I was a little kid, I used to watch that on occasion. But it fits. It so fits. Alright, so Sombra is actually given a voice this time around. He's saying more than just crystals. And apparently he's being voiced by the same guy who did Flutter Guy way back in season 1 and I think season 4 was it? It's actually pretty good to hear Sombra monologuing until Grogar has just had enough of it and whisks him away. But yeah, Sombra is following all the cliches that as soon as he claims the throne room, he says, Equestria is mine! And there are quite a few other little tidbits that follow some cliches, but we'll get to that. I was surprised that when Sombra was taking over the Crystal Empire, just how quickly everything progressed. I mean, first off, you have Flurry Heart saying her first word, Mommy, and that was kind of heartbreaking. But then when you see just how next to useless Cadence and Shining Armor are, especially when their kingdom and their daughter is concerned, they barely do anything. But I guess that since so much else is packed into this two-part premiere, it probably didn't make sense to give them more screen time, to try and give them a proper fight back against Sombra before they are defeated. It's a little disappointing, but at least I can understand why. There are other priorities here. Twilight and the main six using the elements of harmony, and holy cow, they defeat Sombra way quick. I did not see that coming. I thought there would be a lot more to it, and turns out there is a lot more to it. Because Sombra's plan was apparently, let's get the elements of harmony used against me, and then I will follow Twilight and her friends back to its hiding place and destroy it outright. Okay, that absolutely raises the stakes even further. Oh, so naturally, Twilight is still panicking. Twilight feels like she's running out of options. And then it gets to the point where, yeah, their darkest fear is actually coming true. That Sombra doesn't feel the need to put them under his fear spell slavery because he'd rather see them try to stop him. He'd rather see their worst fears realize and impotently try to do anything about it. Another phrase comes to mind. Your overconfidence is your weakness. Your faith in your friends is yours. Doesn't that fit pretty well here? I think it does. And we have Twilight and the main six fighting against the Everfree Forest using garden tools and fighting for hours. Goodness. And we even have the Royal Sisters coming along with Star Swirl the Bearded to keep the forest at bay, to keep it under control, so that Twilight and her friends can do what's even more important, stopping King Sombra. I am glad that the Royal Sisters are being given something to do, that they are not just absent the entire time after they say that they've retired. And yeah, they even comment early on in part 1 that the Royal Sisters almost never save the day. Throughout all the years, they're actually addressing this, because we've been talking about it in the fandom for years, and yeah, now even Pinkie Pie and Applejack and Rainbow Dash, they're all talking about it. I think that's great, because it's not only addressing an issue we see with the Royal Sisters, but it actually gives them something important to do here. It gives them a reason why they are not right there with Twilight to defeat King Sombra. And speaking of Discord, oh my goodness, I love what they have done with Discord in this two-part premiere. At first, he's making fun of Twilight because, yeah, he loves poking fun at the fact that she panics over every little detail. And this is all of the details being put in her lap all at once. So yeah, of course Discord is just gonna sit back and enjoy everything. But what's more, he wants them to learn something incredibly important. This is Discord at some of his best, when he's not only making jokes and causing chaos and being his chaotic neutral self, he's especially good at that, but during the end, when Sombra is attempting to stop Discord, and he's simply waving every single one of his attacks with just a flick of his fingers, no problem. Oh my goodness, what danger could there possibly be here? And they put in a legit moment where maybe Discord might have actually gotten hurt because he's trying to protect Fluttershy. It's a great setup. But seriously, how many of us already knew? Even then, he's playing it up as much as he can. He's being his typical trollish self. But it's all because he cares. Throughout the entire premiere, he's been trying to tell Twilight in his own way, you can do this. You absolutely can do this. And I'm so grateful for that. I really, really am. And when it finally is revealed that he's been lying the whole time, yeah, it makes sense. Of course, the main six are upset at first, but they're grateful. I'm glad to see that Discord is teaching lessons in his own way again. And that he's upset with Celestia. That Twilight isn't gonna be taking over just yet. Oh my goodness, there is so much about this special that I love. They are cramming in so many new villains all at once. Twilight taking over Equestria. It's gonna be a season-long arc. Great way to do it. And they're giving all of her allies who we would have wanted to see come in and actually do something, they're coming in and doing something. They are not all standing on the sidelines expecting Twilight to do her thing. Even though Discord really wants to, he's still going to step in and try to help in his own little ways. So yeah, the Tree of Harmony destroyed, raising the stakes. Introducing Grogar and his Legion of Doom, raising the stakes. Twilight is now expected to take on the role of Celestia and Luna, raising the stakes. There is so much that I am looking forward to just from this premiere, and I can't remember the last premiere that has made me feel this excited. This is so much fun. It's hard for me to think of what they've done wrong. Oh goodness. I am loving how the villains are coming together and that Grogar is making it very clear you better not go off on your own because you've seen for yourself exactly what's going to happen. I love the fact that Cozy Glow, because she's learned all about friendship and how powerful it is, she's already trying to get T-Rex and Chrysalis to be friends with each other, to admit, okay, there's something good about this species. And of course, Chrysalis has no wish to be any part of that. The dynamic that's already building up between these characters, I want to see more. This is so fun. Oh. And it makes me genuinely curious exactly what the long-term plan Grogar has laid out for everything here. I have lost count of how many great elements are in this premiere. I can't think of any other word except fun. It's so fun and interesting. Goodness, I want to see what happens next. At any rate though, I hope that this is a two-part premiere that will stand out in people's memories for a long time yet. I am so grateful that the MLP staff are introducing so many elements that we've all wanted to see for so very long. And they've done it in such a coherent way. I was a little disappointed with a couple of things like Shining Armor and Cadence basically not being able to do anything, but at least I can understand why. There were so many other priorities in play here, and so much of it just turned out wonderful. But what do you all think? Given that the Tree of Harmony has now been destroyed, what is it that the villains might have in store for everyone in Equestria? Given that we've been waiting to see a villain like Grogar be introduced to the series after seeing someone else from G1 like T-Rex, now his underling, and given that Twilight is now expected to run Equestria because Royal Sisters are retiring, how do you suppose everything's going to get wrapped up at the end of this season with this very interesting story arc that lies ahead? I would like to hear your thoughts on the beginning of the end, and here's hoping. Here is hoping that everything that lays before us in this season is the very best that the MLP staff has been saving for the very end. Until next time, I am Dr. Wolf, and I look forward to hearing from you.